In this video, I'm going to show you how to write the equation of a line based off of some given information in your application problem. Now it says here that you want to determine the height of a candle after it has burned for a given amount of time. The candle is 10 inches tall when it is purchased, and after 4 hours it is 6.5 inches tall. So let's talk about our two variables. They give us information here about hours and inches. Now x is going to represent one variable and so will y, so I'll talk about both of those. X is going to be the number of hours that the candle is burned, and then the y is going to be the height of the candle, and that's going to be in inches. Now most of the time, as long as I've been alive doing my math, when you see an amount of time, time is what goes on your x-axis, which will be your independent variable. So in order, if I have hours and height, I have some information here. It says the candle is 10 inches tall when it is purchased, which would mean if it has not been burned at all, it starts 10 inches tall. And then my second point here, after it has been burned for 4 hours, it is 6.5 inches tall. So that would be my second point. Now again, we're going to start with 2 points. We're going to find our slope and use point slope form, then transform to slope intercept form, and then we don't have standard form on here, but I actually might do it just in case you're asked to do all those steps, and then we'll do some application kind of questions at the bottom. So point slope form, you need to know slope. So first find your slope. I want my second y value of 6.5 minus my first y value of 10. And then x2 minus x1 would be 4 minus 0 for my denominator. Now if I calculate this, this is going down 3.5 inches in 4 hours. So I'm going to get a decimal for this because this might make more sense. We can't have halves in a fraction, so I actually have to double my fraction to get rid of that half. So negative 7 out of 8. Or if you want to use a decimal, it's negative 0.875, and that's inches burned, because that's your y per inches burned per hour. So inches y per x per hour. Now I didn't actually fill out my formula, so I'm going to use kind of my bright marker here. You're going to have two options for what you use for your point slope form. So I'll show you there are two functions you could get based on which point you pick. So y minus 10 is equal to negative 0.875, and then in parentheses x minus 0. Or if you use the other point, this would also be a correct equation. Y minus 6.5 is equal to negative 0.875 times x minus 4. It does not matter which one you put or use because they are actually both correct. Now I'm going to transform those functions into slope-intercept form, and I'll show you that you get the same answer for both. So y minus 10, I'm just going to copy this down over here, equals negative 0.875 x. Now if this is x minus 0, I don't need to multiply that and say, plus 0. It's kind of unnecessary. Then just add 10 over. So add 10 over to this side. So negative 0.875x plus 10 would be my slope-intercept form from that function. But if I use the other one, watch, we'll get the same thing. Let me just copy this function down. Multiply your 0.875 times x and 4. Now a negative times a negative is going to make a positive, and then on my calculator, 0.875 times 4, now it's going to be positive, I already know, 3.5. And now if I add 6.5, I get the same exact function. Y equals negative 0.875x plus 6 plus 3 is 9. 9.5, 10. Exactly the same thing that we got over there. So it doesn't matter which point you use you will get the same slope-intercept form. Now the next question says, what is the real world meaning of your slope and your y-intercept? Well, our slope, the m, you could say this: the candle burns 0.875 inches per hour. Or if you use this fraction, you could say it burns 7 inches in 8 hours. You could say that. Then for our y-intercept, our b, we just found our b, 10. This should make a lot of sense. Our starting height of our candle was 10, but we were told that from the beginning. The candle is 10 inches tall when it is purchased. So I'm going to say the candle is 10 inches tall before it is lit. Now the next question, how long will it take for the candle to be gone? Meaning the height of the candle is 0. It completely burns out. So I'm going to put in 0 for y meaning the height of my candle. And I'm going to solve for the amount of hours it will take. So I'm going to subtract 10 to this side, and then I will divide by my slope. So let's see here. Negative 10 divided by negative 0.875. Negative divided by negative is going to be a positive 11.43. I'm going to round here, 11.43. So x equals 11.43 hours. What would the height be after 12 hours? Well, we just said that the candle would be completely gone here in 11.43 hours. So there would be no candle left to burn after 11.43 hours. So what would the height be? There is no height. It is gone at 11 hours, which is less than the 12 hours there.